Lesson 231. Father, I will but to remember you. What can I seek for, Father, but your love? Perhaps I think I can seek for something else, a something I have called by many names. Yet is your love the only thing I seek or ever sought, for there is nothing else that I could ever really want to find. Let me remember you. What else could I desire but the truth about myself? This is your will, my brother, and you share this will with me and with the one as well who is our Father. To remember him is heaven. This we seek, and only this is what it will be given us to find. And now we will move to the commentary by Alan Watson and Robert Perry. Lesson 231. Father, I will but to remember you. If you would like to read the introduction of part 2 of the workbook, it'll give instructions on how to practice the lessons throughout the day. Commentary. This lesson is talking about our will. When the Course uses the word will in this way, it is talking about a fundamental, unchanging part of us, the permanently fixed goal of ourself. It isn't talking about our wishes and our whims, but our will. Jesus speaks to us directly in the second paragraph and says, "This is your will, my brother." It is a will we share with him and also with God our Father. What is our will? To remember God, to know his love, and that is all. Not many of us, as we begin reading this course, would have answered the question, what do you want out of life? With the words, to remember God and know his love. A lot of us probably don't feel those words fit us even now. The lesson recognizes that perhaps I think I seek for something else. What is the something else you are seeking? It might be wealth or fame. It might be some form of worldly security. It might be romance. It might be hot sex or a good time, or a quiet family life in the tradition of the American dream. We've called it by many names. We think these things are what we are seeking for, yet no matter what we may think, these things are not what we truly will for ourselves. They are all forms that we believe will give us something. It isn't the form we are really seeking, it's the content. It is what we believe these things offer to us. And what is that? Inner peace, satisfaction, a sense of completion and wholeness, a sense of worth, an inner knowing that we are essentially good, lovable and loving, a feeling of belonging, of being valuable. Ultimately, these things come only from remembering God and knowing his love. They are something inside of us, not something outside of us. Only when we remember the truth about ourselves, only when we remember our connectedness to love itself, will we find what we are seeking. And we will find that we are what we have been seeking and always have been. To remember him is heaven. This we seek. And only this is what it will be given us to find. Remembering God is the only thing I am really looking for. Let me today spend time, morning and evening, reminding myself of this fact. Father, I will but to remember you. Let me stop briefly every hour to recall it to my mind, and each time I find myself thinking that I want something else, let me gently correct myself. Remembering God is all I want. If you'll please join me in the meditation, go ahead and close your eyes. Father, I will but to remember you. What can I seek for, Father, but your love? Perhaps I think I seek for something else, a something I have called by many names. Yet is your love the only thing I seek or ever sought, for there is nothing else that I could ever really want to find. Let me remember you. What else could I desire but the truth about myself. This is your will, my brother, and you share this will with me and with the one as well who is our Father. To remember him as heaven, this we seek, and only this is what it will be given us to find. Father, I will but to remember you. Thank you for joining with me in the meditation. We are going to read the first paragraph of What is Salvation through sentence 3. Salvation is a promise made by God that you would find your way to Him at last. It cannot but be kept. It guarantees that time will have an end and that all the thoughts that have been born in time will end as well. And this is Alan Watson's commentary on this section. I have no idea what I have in it. What is salvation? To begin with, it will help to realize that the Course does not attach the same meaning to this word as does traditional religion. Salvation carries for most of us the connotation of some impending disaster from which we are saved. From hell, for instance. From some terrible punishment. From the consequences of our wrongdoing. The picture often used in traditional Christianity is of a drowning man being thrown a life preserver. Throw out the lifeline, the old gospel hymn says. The Course directly refutes this idea. Yourself does not need salvation, but your mind needs to learn what salvation is. You are not saved from anything, but you are saved for glory. Salvation in the Course is a life preserver, but not in the same sense. It does not save us from death. It preserves us in life. It is a guarantee that death will never touch us. Salvation is a promise made by God that you would find your way to Him at last. We are not in danger of destruction, never have been, never will be. The Course's verse of salvation does not reverse a disaster. It prevents the disaster from ever happening. Before time began, God made His promise, a promise that cannot but be kept. That promise guaranteed that time and all the mess we appear to have made in time would have an end, and ultimately be without any effect at all. It guaranteed that life cannot end, that holiness cannot become sin, that heaven cannot become hell. It guaranteed that there could never be more than an illusion of separation and a dream of suffering and death. It promised that the ego could never become real, that no will independent of God could ever arise. It defined the end from the beginning and made it perfectly secure. We will find our way to God at last because God has promised that it will be so. Thank you so much for joining with me in lesson 231. Father, I will but to remember you. I love you.